Hey guys, Ranjin here, Beyond Cycle Commentary. This is going to be the first set between Jaedong and Snow in the round of 8 in the PDPOP MSL 2010/2011. We're in the new year, holy crap. Maybe I should have mentioned something about that in the last video I posted, which was already in this year, but whatever. This is going to be Dante's peak at the bottom of the corner. We're going to have Jaedong playing Zerg, of course, as Orange. I think that should have been the other way around. As Orange, obviously, as Zerg. But the upper right-hand corner playing in Aquamarine or Teal, whatever that is Snow playing as Protoss. So looking forward to this one. Dante's peak 4-player map. Before I actually say anything, I'm going to do some syncing. 43, 44, 45, because, you know, they don't care about commentators anymore, and they don't care to let us sync. This is a 4-player map. As I mentioned, Snow got out there putting out his pylon for the Forge Fast Expand. Pretty standard, what you see all the time. Yeah, pretty much early game builds in this matchup on the Protoss side are pretty much the same for the last 3 to 4 years. Thanks, Bisu! No, really. Pretty much all the Protoss players like, thanks, Bisu. And Nelra. The two people in charge of that. So let's see, we've got an overpull coming on the opposite side. Seems like Jaedong's going to want to put on at least a little bit of pressure. Probably going to follow it up with pretty quick expansions. So it seems like he's going to want to play off 2 bases to start off. Maybe go for some muta harassment. He's going to see exactly what he's going to go for. Regarding matchups, definitely Snow's weakest. He's at under 50% in this matchup. Not really a tried and tested player, and I really think that facing off against Jaedong in round of 8 is most likely the end of the road in this MSL here for him. Jaedong just has him beaten pretty much every way possible. He has the experience, he has the titles for one thing, and he has a winning record against him. Snow's specialty is anti-turn play, and trying to come in here, trying to interrupt that hatchery, but not quite managing to interrupt it long enough. Jaedong just taking a few shots at that probe. Still going to be able to get that scouting probe inside. On the opposite side, we do see the Forge coming up. That overpull should not worry Snow that much that he actually, decides to go for cannons before Nexus. Just plopping down the Nexus. Should be seeing the cannons coming up fairly soon. Might want to plop down 2 just in case the initial Zerglings already out there and more on the way. 4 Zerglings to start off. Probably going to be seeing more on the way unless just Jaedong decide to just get 4 to put on just a little bit of pressure, force down. Nope, there we go, 6 Zerglings. Might even see 8 Zerglings popping. No, just 6. And a drone right behind that to start working. But those 6 are definitely going to force down. Probably going to force down a second cannon. Snow knows that's coming at him. He might decide to put down a gateway and just block off the rest with his probes. That could be safe too. But that would, of course, require him to pull off some probes. But 2 cannons, not necessarily so. He might just keep 1 probe in there. Jaedong, we're already putting down 3rd base, hiding at the upper left-hand position. And let's see, Nexus coming up. I think I saw that 2nd cannon on the way alongside the gateway at the front. So yeah, he's also going to be using his probes. If he didn't have his probes, the Zerglings could have run by that 1 single cannon. But that's going to force Jaedong to back off. But that's really much all he wanted. He just wanted to force Snow to play a little bit carefully, pull a few probes off the line, force down that gateway, the 2nd cannon. Still keeping him trouble alive, meanwhile, in getting that scouting information. Doesn't know about the upper left hand yet. But I think it's actually the best decision for Jaedong. Just if you're going to take a 3rd base, take it in that faraway location, because you're going to be able to expand towards the natural expansion from there and kind of defend those 4 bases of yours. The 5th one's going to be harder to take, but you're going to be guaranteeing yourself, as long as you don't get that spotted and killed early, that upper left hand, you're going to find yourself with a fairly safe 4 bases, and that guarantees you a very strong mid to late game. And you're just going to be able to get a lot of forces going. They're going to be able to live on those 4 bases for quite a while, because I think more bases for Zerg is going to be a little bit tougher to take, but still, after you have that, you pretty much have control of the entire left side of the map, so taking that 5th base there in the middle is not going to be too hard for him either. But overall, if he would have transitioned towards the 3rd, it would have been quite a bit more difficult to defend. That map is a little bit, that is a little bit out of position. And the only 3rd gas there is at that 9 o'clock position. There is a sort of a slight minor only just outside your natural expo, but that's completely out in the open and really risky. While if you go for that 9 o'clock position, in Jaedong's case, he would be leaving himself with only 1 location to defend from. It kind of hard to reinforce. Not because of distance, but simply because just a choke. If you got a defensive posture, you can defend it. But if forces manage to get through it, you're going to be basically have to bottle them in with reinforcements, but you still might end up losing the base even if you manage to clear out. Spire is on the way, so Jaedong's going to go for 3 base Mutaplay, it seems. Might be going for just for Scourge, we're going to see, because there's that Stargate on the opposite side. I feel like I'm all rusty. I got to get more into this. Like, what are the builds again? Robotics Facility alongside, so we're going to see exactly what Snow goes for, whether he tries to go for some Reaver play. Haven't seen much, well, I haven't seen much StarCraft at all lately, so I definitely haven't seen much Ser Reaver against Zerg, but could be very effective builds, especially since Jaedong is a little bit spread out, and I find that Corsair Reaver is very effective, especially the more spread out the Zerg player is, the more effective it is. But if he's kind of has his own little corner that is working through, which you can't really have on this map, but if you have that little corner, then as a Zerg player, then you can't really do much. Back home, Snow is fairly well defended, has a few Zealots, has a Dragoon as well. Jaedong now working on his additional hatcheries, 4th and 5th right there. Seems Snow actually just gonna run it a little bit, force those Zerglings a little bit further back with his Zealots and Dragoon. Doesn't really have any forces that can do anything aggressive with, but we're gonna see exactly what it goes for. Jaedong does have the Lair, does have the Spire coming up. Didn't see a Hydra Den. Is there a Hydra Den? Nope, just an Extractor. Don't see Hydra Dens anywhere, so it seems like he might be going for mass mutas. I feel like there should be a Hydra Den out there. I might have completely missed it. Robotic support be on the opposite side, so we are going to be seeing some Ser Reaver, and I'm not quite sure if that's been spotted at all. Whether Jaedong, he has an Overlord over that Natural Expo. Whether he's spotted completely or not, though, I don't know. 2 Corsairs already out there. One going to snipe an Overlord right there. I'm wondering whether he's actually going to go much further than that. Seems like he's going to back off. Has another Corsair taking out an Overlord just above his Natural Expo. Fuser can just running around trying to run around and stay alive. A few of them getting taken out by those Zealots and Dragoons, and a couple Overlords taken out as well. Many times these days you only get 1, but getting 2 is a pretty decent start for him. Just has to work on his Corsair count, get that shuttle. You really need shuttle speed because so many Protoss have failed going for this build simply because they fail get shuttle speed. Shuttle speed gives those shuttles with Reavers inside them so much more survivability, makes them so much more useful, even later game, because more likely that they survive during those engagements, during that harassment, and because they manage to survive during that, a later game they become much more useful. You can still continue to use Reavers, or you can go for some high Templar drops. Some Templar drops, very deadly strategies. Right here, seems like Snow is actually going to go for a little bit of aggression. Not quite sure this is the perfect idea. Zerglings coming in here to engage, but the Zealots still don't have Weapons 1 upgrades or the speed upgrades, but still enough of a number with that Dragoon also to support them. Not that it does too much damage, but the Dragoon to support them. That the Zerglings are being forced off, but it's not really going to engage. There's just a small bottleneck to engage into, and there's a sunken colony there, and the drones will just be able to block those Zealots in. The Zerglings will come in from the back, and there's going to be just a bad engagement for Snow. He only has 4 Zealots alongside the Dragoon, and if they get spotted and just taken out by these Mutalists, that might happen. Still no speed on these Zealots. They seem like they're going to be engaged. They're not going to be able to run for their lives anyway, so it seems they're going to just try to take out as much as possible while on the ground. These are going to get mopped up easily. Big mistake out there for Snow, not reading those Mutalisks. I definitely thought he's got all the scouting information he needed. It seems like he might have opted to kill Overlords rather than get scouting information. If that was indeed what he did, then that is a big mistake right there. And I apologize actually about the upper left hand. Jaedong went for the natural expansion first, then went for the main. That was actually a mistake on my part. I believe that he went for the main. I do apologize about that. Just clearing that up right now. Oh no, the shuttle does have speed with a Reaver inside it, but it gets spotted. Gonna take a shot. Corsair's gonna be forced to run. Scourge can't quite catch up to it, but it is gonna go down. Reaver does get saved, but he's gonna go down very quickly to his Mutalisks. And Snow's entire game plan just went out the window. The advantage that Jaedong has at this point is huge. Took out whatever ground forces he had. Took out his main force. Corsairs even have Carapace upgrade. Well, Mutalisks have Carapace upgrade while the Corsairs have weapon up upgrades. So Jaedong all together prepared, knows that he also needs those Scourge a little bit more survivability, and just needs those Mutalisks to be able to engage Corsairs in the air just in case. To engage anything really that can fire up in the air. But now really Snow is in a very bad position because Jaedong is going to be allowed to build up his economy. The 4th base, that's not going to get harassed at all. Just a few Zealots on the ground, and with all those Scourge in the air, those Corsairs not really going to be able to get too much done. Jaedong seems like he's just going to be just fine to pressure, and he doesn't mind just delaying this game a little bit. He has Snow locked in, closed in off into his 2 bases, and he's going to have a really hard time breaking out in the next 5 minutes at all. He's not really going to be able to do that. While Jaedong just now starts working on his Hydra count, on his upgrades, and on additional economy. Meanwhile, now Snow getting a DT out there thinking, hey, if I can get something done, maybe I can get it done with a DT. And of course, as so many times we see, a DT just randomly stops in the middle of the street, and hey, I'm going to kill myself some zerglings. That's like 5-6 zerglings there killed, 5 on the kill count. But yeah, you know, Jaedong doesn't know about that DT now, or should. So as long as he flies an Overlord out there, which I don't see him doing. Oh my god, CG just standing out there. What's up, Overlords? What's up? Oh crap, fighters are firing at me. Crap. Oh no, Mutalisks. Oh crap. Oh crap. Oh, okay, I'm dead. Not a good day to be a DT. But really just the way it is right now, Snow's entire game plan just out the window. I don't really know. He has to be very lucky with his engagement. He isn't going to go for it right now. One Reaver in that shuttle, has an Archon in there. Scarab going to go off, hit only the Sunken Colony. Sunken Colony's being a bit of a bother. Zealots running and trying to engage, trying to desperately take out the Sunken Colony. Sunken Colony is going to go down right there. Overall, the Muto's also coming in. Did he actually get a snipe on that Reaver? If he did, then that's a really good part for Jaedong there. I'm not quite sure if he managed to do that or not. I totally missed it there for a second. But Snow managing to get a decent engagement here on the opposite dimension to push in all the way, do some damage to the natural expansion, pushing in all the way to mid. He really needs to just go in there to that. It's actually not really an expansion, it's the upper left end. Not the natural. The upper left hand natural. He needs to go in there and rape every single drone that he sees there. I think he actually managed to do that exactly. Not only has Zealots in there, but they're going to be just microed against and die. If there are still any drones in there, they need to die right now. But overall, seems like Jaedong actually transferred some of his drones from that main back to the natural. Oh boy. So definitely sure he lost that Reaver there. I totally missed it, but pretty sure he lost it due to those mutas. Paying attention to the Sunken Colony at the moment. I do apologize for that. God, I'm rusting. I feel like crap. He's still shuttle in there, so actually he might have managed to save that Reaver. Now I was going to see, yeah, still has that Reaver. Might actually be a fresh Reaver, not altogether too sure. Scarab just kind of sitting there going, what's up? Killing a couple of Hydras there. Taking a lot of shots on that Reaver, getting another Scarab off. That just kills whatever popped out of that egg. Another Scarab going to go off. That take a long time to make a decision and do absolutely nothing. Still River sitting there, getting another Scarab off. Snow trying to push the game. He knows the longer the game goes on, the worse position is going to be, and still has his Corsairs in there. Few of the Zealots to help engage, and that Reaver staying alive, getting those Scarabs off, doing a decent amount of micro, but it seems like he's finally going to back off. Spotted those Hydras coming in from the back. They would have caught his Reaver in there. That would have been a bad position. Jaedong doesn't have his strong economy quite yet. He has a fairly decent economy, but it has been disturbed a little bit here. But unfortunately for Snow, he really hasn't had the opportunity to expand or anything. I was going to be forced to go back home and defend. Has one Reaver out there, has a High Templar as well, a few Zealots. So I think he's actually going to be able to hold his natural expansion for a little while. But still think on the long term, Jaedong's in the overall better position. Snow had to have done more there. He had to have done more damage, not just to the Hydra army, but a lot more damage to the drones. He has to go out there. He has to harass Jaedong's economy. He has to make sure that Jaedong does not build up that strong late game, which is exactly what he's working on now. Working on his Queen's Nest, going to start working on his Hive. Because I really think the minute the Jaedong gets his Defilers out, there's going to be it. Here's going to be a Reaver harass. Snow going to get... Come on, Scarab! Oh my god, no Scarab. Oh, Scourge in here. What was that? Oh, Corsair's in there. Corsair going to give his life. My life for ire. My life for a shuttle with a Reaver inside of it. Stupid AI-controlled robot that targeting Scarab system that... Wait, that was totally bad. But here, even Jaedong brilliantly burying down. And of course, the difference between Reavers, when you harass with Reavers, you can't do anything if the drones burrow down, unless you have observers in there. But that's not very likely. Corsair is going to get massacred here, and his shuttle really low, has to wait for the shields to recharge before he can possibly fly away. But it seems like just a Scourge going to go out there and take that out. Yeah, there you go. Goodbye, Kablam. And, yeah, the look on Snow's face is a little bit of hopelessness, and Jaedong just looks, okay, calm down. Oh, I got this. I should be okay. I got this. I'm Jaedong. Still somehow Snow manages to pump out a decent-sized army, but the problem is that he is not ready for the late game. So that is why he needs to keep engaging. He tries to win this now. Has another couple Reavers in there. This might actually be a very good engagement for him. But if his Scarabs stop failing, decent Scarab there. Bunch of Overlords flying right above. A lot of High Templars to follow this out. Is Jaedong going to be able to do much? A lot of reinforcement coming in from this out. Just grouping up into a massive grouping. This could be a huge amount of bad for Snow. Jaedong just waiting on it. Springs the trap right there. A lot of Storm for Snow. Still keeping his Reavers alive. More Storm. So a lot of the Hydras die as they engage. Unfortunate for Snow, he's lost a lot of his Zealots. He needs those Zealots, but he's still doing a lot of damage here at the Natural Expo. Jaedong, even more reinforcements coming in, though. Huge amount of Hydras. Unfortunately, Snow has already wasted most of his storms. Another storm coming in, but the Reavers go down still somehow. Snow has done a lot of damage to Jaedong's units and some decent amount of damage to the economy, but unfortunately, I think that's the last bit of that army. Few reinforcements coming in, a little bit too late. Only a few of those Dragoons on the high ground and coming in to engage a few Zealots and a few Dragoons, and there's Dragoons. Not the best thing ever against the Hydras. I think it's just going to go down without too much resistance. Snow finally decided to back off, but now we have even Zerglings in there. Zerglings can easily catch up to Dragoons and kill them without too much trouble, so Snow might actually end up losing most, if not all, of those forces. Has a bunch of more Zealots pumping out, but he needs a lot more than just Zealots and a few Dragoons to support them to actually win this game. Finally getting an expansion here outside that natural mineral only, so it's a little bit something, at least for him, working on a little bit more economy. Jaedong, economy-wise, he's actually taken a lot of damage. A lot of drones have been killed, and he's taken a lot of troops that he's been forced to pump out, but now it's going to have a lot of lurkers in there, and the lurkers going to be a huge boon. Snow does have a few observers to help out, but honestly, he just hasn't done enough damage. This lower left hand has been completely unharassed up to this point. Just a few Zealots coming in here, force Jaedong to stay back at home, force him to run his entire army down here to the lower left hand position just to make sure he can clear up these Zealots easily. But it seems like Jaedong's actually not going to do that. Seems he's actually kind of marauding across the map. Seems like he actually wants to go for this base right here and end it. Snow has quite a bit to defend, quite a few High Templar and a Reaver and a lot of forces that, but Jaedong's still gonna go for it. One cannon Morphe not gonna happen. Lurker gonna die before he can burrow down. DT, I think, also in there waiting just in the shadows to do some damage. Snow, meanwhile, back here at the lower left hand, trying to do a little bit of damage there with his Zealots, not accomplishing too much except a little bit of harassment. A lot of Lurkers are burrowed down. Meanwhile, storms being spent on a few of those Hydras. A lot of these Lurkers are low, so with the help of that DT, with no observers in there, might get some damage done. These Lurkers are all very, very low, so just kill them with the DT or the Scarabs. That works right there. So Jaedong overall is keeping those Lurkers around, has that Overlord there to help against the DT, which I think he actually died. Snow, in fact, had a DT at the low left position, also harassing. So Snow trying to keep up the constant harass while he keeps up his bases. So actually, really, depending how... When you think about how badly it went earlier, it was not a bad recovery, but they're losing his Reaver in there very bad. No Storm on that High Templar as it just dies. Pro's being forced to fight another High Templar coming in alongside that Archon, but I think just Jaedong overall has too much. He can still continue pumping out, and he has an okay economy. Seems like actually still thinking of going for another harass, but a few Hydras in there under the Overlords hiding and doing a little bit of damage, but... Oh my god, Snow. Whenever you're spending a storm to kill one single lurker, you know you're not in the best of positions. Here, another DT near that hive trying to do even more damage. So Snow's still trying to make it so that he can, the longer the game goes on, the slightly better his position is. But unfortunately, he himself is getting a lot of harass. Decent amount of harass here with DT with 12 kills at this point, 13. There goes the entire drone line of the natural expansion of Jaedong's, and the DT might still stay alive to deal some more damage because Jaedong just focusing on pumping out a bunch of troops, trying to finish this off right now. The position is actually very interestingly turned right now. One overall in that position, it should be able to actually take out the DT. DT might get one more drone kill! Yeah, it does get one more drone kill before it dies, but on the opposite side, doesn't really matter because Snow has lost that third, and he really does not have much economy-wise. That third was such a critical thing for him, just those minerals. He has some forces yet, but I just don't think he's going to be able to pump out. Jaedong, despite losing drones left and right, can constantly just get those drones back. You see that little bit of minerals is all Snow has left in the resources column for him. So he's not really going to be able to do too much. The little bit of army now, he might be able to pump out a few more Zealots, something else, but overall... The further the game goes on, the worse the position is for him. I think Jaedong just going to pump out a last bit of troops. He really should just stop throwing forces in piecemeal. He just go back home, drone up a little bit. You don't really need to finish it. Just make sure you've made sure that third doesn't come up. Keep making sure it doesn't come up. Don't engage when there's a Reaver in there. That's ridiculously slow. Zergling dies just as it kills the Reaver. But Jaedong, yeah, should be redroning just a little bit. Has redroned that upper left hand at this point. Ooh, fireworks. Well, not fireworks, a little bit of bombs or some stuff. But Jaedong really should be in a decent position. Just I don't see any defowlers out yet for him, but I think because of the harass, he really hasn't gone for defowler take yet. Just trying to force, get his attack speeded up. His attack speeded Zerglings to do a bunch of the damage for him. Doing even more harassment at that third, just not allowing Snow to get it up. Just one single lurker and a Hydra is doing a bunch of damage. Protest been trying to get a little bit of farm. And look at that. Last Dragoon of Snow just goes is gonna go splat, probably off screen, in fact. Hey, might not. High Templar are coming in to save the day. Again, when you're wasting a storm just to save a dragon, you know, dragoon, you're in a pretty bad position. That's a GG right there. And Jaedong, I wouldn't call that an easy win, but I just think Snow made too many mistakes. And you know when a protoss is trying to just pressure, you know something's not quite right when it's Zerg being the reactionary force. Sometimes it just doesn't feel right. But despite some nice counterplay from Snow, Jaedong still took that win. So nice play from him. But I'm hoping this could still be a nice series because honestly I saw a lot of possible possibilities. I'm confident that Snow can give us a good series against Jaedong because really Jaedong, he's not in the OSL anymore, and I think he does not have a golden badge yet. So I'm pretty sure he has a golden mouse, but he doesn't have a golden badge in the MSL yet. Flash has pretty much prevented that from happening. The last 2 seasons, I think it was. 1 or 2. Crap, I forgot. Been too long. Yeah, heading out them t-shirts. A fan actually came up, can I have a t-shirt? Then like, no. Jaedong's like, no. I did not see you, so no. But yeah, GG guys, Wrench listening. Hope you enjoyed. When the hell are the next games again?